Coding errors are a natural part of programming. Everyone makes mistakes, particularly when you are first learning. You will make many mistakes, and that's totally fine. You shouldn't feel bad about making mistakes. In fact, it's exactly the opposite. Every mistake you make is an opportunity to learn something new. Just make sure that you take that opportunity, otherwise the mistake really is lost time. So you should accept and embrace your mistakes and try as best you can to learn from each mistake. Now, in this video, I want to discuss different kinds of coding errors and how to minimize them in more general or abstract terms. In the next video, I'm going to discuss specific strategies about what to do when your code is producing errors. So first I want to present the different types of difficulties with programming and what your best strategies are for addressing them. So let's start with the first type of programming difficulty. You know the name of the function, but you don't understand how that function works. So you can start by reading the help text or the doc file as I showed you earlier in the course, but that's not always so useful. So you can also try Googling the function or whatever your preferred search engine is, but sometimes that will only duplicate the help text. So if there are examples, then definitely go through any examples that you can find that are relevant for that function. The best strategy might be to input different values and see what the different outputs are. You can try plotting. Plotting is always a great idea. And you can also try stepping into the function and running it line by line or cell by cell, paragraph by paragraph. And I showed you in the previous section how to step into functions by using breakpoints. Now, it's possible that the coding is more advanced than your current skill level. However, you can still try to extract the basic principle of the code even if you don't understand every individual line. Okay, so that is one kind of programming difficulty. There's another one, which is you know what you want Matlab to do, but you don't know what the command or the function is to do it. Now here you can try searching the internet for the description and keywords, and hopefully that will point you towards a good solution or the name of the function that might be relevant for you. You can also try doing an image search to look for pictures of figures that you have in mind. And if you know of similar functions or other functions that achieve similar results, then you can try looking up the help file of those related functions and then look at the bottom of the help text for their see also suggestions. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3 is you know what you want Matlab to do and you know the function, but there are errors when you run the code. This is also frustrating. These are all three of these are kind of frustrating things to encounter. Now, if you get to number 3, the first strategy is to try to simplify and do a lot of plotting, assuming that the operation you're doing can be plotted. But the key here is really simplifying. So instead of inputting some 5-dimensional matrix of complex numbers into the function, start with inputting a single vector or maybe even a single number, if that makes sense for the particular function. So figure out what is the simplest possible input that you can provide to the function that will return an appropriate output. And hopefully that will help you work through whatever the errors are that you are encountering. Now I want to take a few moments to give you some general pieces of advice for being a good programmer, mostly by arguing against a few common myths that permeate coding culture. First of all, focus and don't multitask. Now, computers make multitasking really easy, dangerously easy, because you can have Matlab and email and Facebook, YouTube and Twitter all open at the same time on your computer. It takes you less than a second to switch from one program or one tab to another. So it's tempting to work this way, and many people think that they can do it. They think that they can actually multitask, but multitasking or trying to multitask is detrimental, and in reality, multitasking just slows you down and makes you less creative. This is not my opinion. There is over a decade of psychology and neuroscience research showing that people simply cannot multitask. We are terrible about it. When you think you are multitasking, what you're actually doing is just rapidly switching across different tasks. And each time you switch, you lose time, you lose concentration, and your creativity decreases. Now, if you have a difficult time staying focused on a particular task, like programming, for too long, then just do it in short blocks. For example, in a block of 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So, take off your headphones, close everything except for Matlab, sit up straight, put both feet on the ground, and really get into the programming for 10 minutes. Then you take a 5-minute break, listen to some music, put your feet up, lean back. You can like a few pictures of your cousin's cat freaking out about a cucumber, or whatever you want to do that's unrelated to coding. And then your short break is up, turn everything off again, and get back to your focused position with your straight back and your feet flat on the ground, and do another 10 minutes of focused, intensive programming without any multitasking. Trust me, you will get way more done this way than if you try to multitask and switch tasks every 20 seconds. Second, my advice is to sleep a normal amount and to eat healthy. It is a total and utter myth. It is completely untrue that you can be more productive simply by pushing yourself harder and longer. Here's the thing. No one cares if you can program for 16 hours straight, eating only Doritos and drinking cheap coffee. On the other hand, people will really care and will be impressed if you can write good, clean, efficient code that works and that solves problems. So sleeping and healthy food are crucial for optimal brain function, but it's also more than that. It's about creativity and insight and problem solving. These higher level cognitive functions all increase when you are well rested and well fed. Again, this is not my personal opinion. This is the scientific consensus from decades of research on the effects of sleep and health on cognition and creativity and problem solving. My final general piece of advice is that if you are stuck on a problem, or if there's something you just really can't figure out, stop thinking about it for a while. I'm not saying to give up as soon as you encounter the first difficulty. I'm saying if you are spending an hour on a problem that you can't solve, put it aside for a bit and do something fun. Do something that makes you happy. Go talk to a friend, take a walk around the block, watch a video of a stand-up comedian. If you're working late, then go to sleep and come back to your problem the next day. Sometimes the best way to solve a difficult problem is to work on it for a little while and then take a break. Let the problem percolate in your brain for a bit and come back to it with a fresh mindset. So there you go, a couple of types of programming difficulties and a bit of my advice on what to do about them, as well as general tips for becoming a better and more efficient programmer. So this video was all about fairly general pieces of advice. Over the next several videos, I'm going to try to make this more concrete, show you many different types of examples in Matlab, and walk you through some strategies, or my strategy, for how to debug your coding errors.